You meet someone new. They smile, they say all the right things, but something deep in your gut clenches. A tiny, quiet alarm bell rings that you can't explain. You brush it off, telling yourself you're just being judgmental or anxious. But that feeling is real, and it's the most important warning you will ever get. Most people ignore this internal signal and pay a heavy price. 99% miss the last part of this video, where we turn this feeling into a tool so powerful, it will permanently change who you let into your life. Ignoring this is like disabling your own smoke detector. Hidden mismatch. Have you ever had a conversation where the words being spoken felt hollow? Like you were watching a movie with the audio track just slightly out of sync with the video? Someone might be saying, "Yes, I am so excited about this project," but their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes, their shoulders are tense, and their hands are clenched into tight fists under the table. It's a strange, unsettling feeling, isn't it? Our logical brain hears the positive words and tries to accept them at face value, but a much older, more primal part of our brain, the part responsible for our survival, is screaming that something is wrong. This disconnect, this chasm between the words a person says and the story their body tells, is the single most important signal you can learn to decode. It's a phenomenon known as incongruence, and it's the bedrock of mistrust. Our brains are fundamentally wired to seek out alignment. We are pattern recognition machines. When we see a smile, we expect to feel the warmth that comes with it. When we hear words of agreement, we expect to see relaxed, open body language. This is congruence, and it feels safe. It feels like truth. It's what allows us to build rapport, to form bonds, and to trust one another. It's the social glue that holds our relationships and societies together. But when those signals are scrambled, when the verbal channel is saying one thing and the nonverbal channel is broadcasting the complete opposite, our internal threat detection system goes on high alert. It's not necessarily that the person is lying, though that is often the case. The danger is deeper than a simple falsehood. The danger lies in the hidden emotion. The incongruence is a leak. It's a crack in the facade, showing you the real emotions simmering just beneath the surface: resentment, anger, fear, or contempt. Or think about the last time you truly felt an instant, easy connection with someone. Chances are they were highly congruent. Their laughter was full-bodied, their compliments were accompanied by genuine, crinkly-eyed smiles, and their reassurances came with a calm and steady presence. You didn't have to spend any mental energy trying to figure them out because what you saw was what you got. Their energy was clean. Now, contrast that with the experience of being around someone who is chronically incongruent. It's exhausting. You leave the interaction feeling drained, anxious, and confused, even if you can't pinpoint exactly why. That exhaustion is the cost of your brain working overtime, trying to reconcile two completely different sets of data. It's trying to solve an impossible puzzle. Which signal do I trust? The words or the feeling? The answer is always, always the feeling. The nonverbal cues are the ones that leak the truth. They are harder to fake and are more directly connected to our emotional centers. Learning to spot this mismatch isn't about becoming a human lie detector. It's about learning to honor your own brilliant, built-in system for detecting emotional truth, decoding danger. So what makes this incongruence the most dangerous sign? It's because it is a universal indicator of a hidden agenda. When someone's inner world does not match their outer presentation, there is a reason. They are actively managing, concealing, or suppressing something. This isn't about the small, pro-social white lies we tell, like saying a friend's new haircut looks great to spare their feelings. That's a different category. The danger we're talking about stems from a fundamental lack of integrity, where a person's entire way of being is built on a foundation of misalignment. This is the person who will praise you to your face while quietly sabotaging your work behind your back. This is the partner who says, "I love you," with a cold, distant tone that tells you they are already emotionally checked out. This is the leader who speaks of transparency and teamwork while hoarding information and fostering a culture of fear. The danger is that their stated intentions are a smokescreen for their real ones. To become fluent in decoding this, we can think about three distinct channels of communication that need to be in harmony: the verbal, the vocal, and the visual. The verbal is the content, the literal words being used. The vocal is the tone, pitch, pace, and volume of the voice. And the visual is the entire universe of nonverbal cues: facial expressions, gestures, posture, and eye contact. A congruent person aligns all three. Their positive words are delivered in a warm, engaging tone and are supported by open, relaxed body language. The dangerous person, the incongruent one, will have a breakdown in this alignment. They might use positive verbal words, but their vocal tone is flat, sarcastic, or clipped. Or maybe their verbal and vocal channels seem fine, but their visual channel is a mess of contradictions. A forced smile, shifty eyes, or a body angled towards the exit. This is where the real information lives. A fascinating study once looked at how we perceive emotion and found that when faced with mixed signals, we derive only about 7% of our understanding from the words themselves. A staggering 38% comes from the tone of voice, and 55% comes from body language and facial expressions. This is why you can't just listen to what people say. You have to watch and feel what they do. The danger of the incongruent person is that they weaponize that 7%. They use pleasing, agreeable, or flattering words to distract you, hoping you won't notice the massive red flags being waved by the other 93% of their communication. They are counting on you to doubt your own perception. They want you to dismiss that tight feeling in your stomach as your own issue, not a reaction to their duplicity. When you start paying attention to the full picture, the words, the tone, and the body, you take that power back. You are no longer just listening to their script. You are reading their soul, your intuition. Let's talk about that feeling, that subtle gut-level sense that something is off. For too long, we've been taught to dismiss this as being overly emotional or irrational, but what we call intuition is not magic. It is data processing. Your subconscious mind is a supercomputer that is constantly scanning the environment, picking up on thousands of microcues every second. A slight hesitation in speech, a flash of contempt on a face that lasts for only a fraction of a second, a posture that is just a little too rigid. Your conscious mind can't keep up with this fire hose of information, so your subconscious packages its findings into a simple, digestible feeling, a sense of ease or a sense of unease. That gut feeling is not a guess. It is a conclusion based on a mountain of evidence you didn't even realize you were collecting. Honoring that feeling is the first and most critical step in protecting yourself. The key to sharpening this skill is to practice establishing a baseline. When you first meet someone, your only job is to observe. Don't judge, just watch. How do they normally stand? What is their typical tone of voice? What is their default facial expression? This is their baseline. The danger signal, the incongruence, is not just a single cue, but a change from that baseline. For example, if you're talking to a naturally animated and expressive person, and you bring up a sensitive topic and they suddenly become still, rigid, and quiet, that's a massive deviation. Their body is telling you a different story than their words might be. Conversely, if a normally reserved and quiet person suddenly becomes overly effusive and complimentary, that is also a deviation worth noting. The incongruence is in the shift. It's the moment the mask slips. We often talk ourselves out of trusting this internal alarm system because we are afraid of being wrong. We think, what if I'm misreading them? What if I'm just projecting my own insecurities? This self-doubt is the greatest ally of a manipulative or untrustworthy person. They rely on our desire to be polite and to give others the benefit of the doubt. But let's reframe this. You are not making a final judgment on their character. You are simply noticing data. You are a scientist of human behavior, and you have just observed an anomaly. The observation of incongruence is not a conviction. It is an invitation to become more curious. It's a signal to slow down, to ask more questions, and to gather more information before you decide to extend your trust. Trusting your intuition isn't about shutting people out. It's about being smart about who you let in. It is the most profound act of self-respect. It is you telling yourself that your safety and peace of mind matter. Strategic response. Once you've spotted the mismatch, the critical question becomes, what do you do? The common impulse might be to call it out directly, to say, you say you're fine, but you don't look fine. In most situations, this is actually the least effective strategy. Direct confrontation often causes the other person to become defensive, to double down on their deception, or to turn the tables and accuse you of being paranoid. It escalates the situation without necessarily bringing you any closer to the truth. The truly powerful response is not confrontation, but curiosity. You use questions to gently probe the incongruence, inviting them to align their stories. This approach gives them a chance to be honest, while keeping you in a position of calm, observant control. Instead of a direct accusation, you can use clarifying questions that reference your observation in a neutral way. For instance, if a coworker agrees to a deadline, but you see a flash of panic in their eyes and a tightening in their jaw, you could say, "I just want to double check, is that timeline realistic from your end? I sensed a little hesitation, and I want to make sure we're setting you up for success." This does two things. First, it acknowledges the nonverbal cue without being accusatory. Second, it opens the door for a more honest conversation. They might admit they are overwhelmed, revealing the truth behind the incongruence. If they continue to deny it and insist everything is fine, you have gathered another crucial piece of data. They are not only incongruent, but are also unwilling or unable to be transparent, even when given a safe opportunity. This leads to the most important strategy of all, managing your distance. Incongruence is a tax on your energy. Being around someone whose signals are constantly mixed puts your nervous system on a low-grade, continuous state of alert. It is profoundly draining. You don't have to cut every incongruent person out of your life. Sometimes they are a family member or a boss, but you can and must manage your proximity and your level of investment. This means having shorter, more structured conversations. It means not sharing your most vulnerable thoughts or feelings with them. It means choosing not to rely on them for things that are critical to your emotional or professional well-being. Creating strategic distance is not a punishment. It is a boundary. It is a conscious choice to protect your own inner peace and to conserve your energy for people who are clear, authentic, and congruent. The ultimate power is not in changing them, but in intelligently managing your own exposure to their chaos. The most dangerous sign in a person is the gap between the person they pretend to be and the person they actually are. It is the subtle, unsettling dissonance between their words and their true feelings. This incongruence is a quiet alarm, a gift from your own deeply intelligent system of self-preservation. Learning to hear it, to trust it, and to act on it is not about becoming cynical or suspicious. It is about becoming discerning. It is about choosing to build your life, your career, and your relationships on the firm foundation of truth, not on the shifting sands of pretense. It is the ultimate act of clarity.